Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between 15 Sway and Sock. This game taking place here on Turtle Rock. We have 15 Sway spawning here as the blue Night Elf player on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Sock spawning as the red human over here on the top left. Turtle Rock going back to classic maps here as we're looking at a Keeper of the Grove going up against an Archmage. For some reason, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and restart it and see if I actually load that overlay, because that was kind of weird. Is it gonna pull in? No, it's not. All right, so no overlay information for Sock. Unfortunately, not quite sure why or what is happening, but well, no luck there. All right. Archmage making its way down here. Turtle Rock, of a very classic map. Been part of the map pool forever and a day. And what is the Archmage hoping to do here? Is the Archmage attempting to go after a really difficult creep camp? Yes, he is. So Sock actually going after this Ogre Lord creep camp here, and then perhaps going to try and surround with Militia. All right, the Ogre Lord actually getting stuck off in this position here is going to be able to get a full surround, and this is a strategy that Orc players have often used, being able to surround the units and then make it so that they're not really dealing that much damage. Archmage going to quickly pick up a clause of attack plus 12, and this was a very aggressive style play. But look at Sock already dealing plus 12 damage per auto attack here. Archmage now sitting at level 2 with Brilliance Aura. Triple Water Elementals out here onto the battlefield. Water Elementals are going to start to back up. Meanwhile, what is 15 Sway doing? 15 Sway moving around with the Keeper of the Grove, and he's not going to realize how hard hitting this one hero is going to be. All right, needs to pick up that Rune of Healing here. There's that Rune of Healing, and 15 Sway comes in and comes across and sees what exactly is going on and wondering how exactly Sock was able to get clear out this creep camp that quickly. Arcane Tower already trying to be built here down to the south. Meanwhile, Archmage is trying to clear up against all of those units, perhaps finishing off this Ogre Warrior here. All right, that Archmage already dealing quite a bit of damage, upwards of 30 or 42 damage per attack. That is not something that you're going to be expecting at this point and stage in the game. That Archmage getting to get up to level 3, already up to 45 damage per attack on the high end, as the Keeper of the Grove, and each of those blasts just actually taking off a good chunk of damage on that each attack taking on a good chunk of damage per throw from that fireball. All right, Arcane archers looking to deny themselves on the Ogre Warrior. Their Archmage gonna stay nearby. We are looking at one scout tower as the Treants are now making their way back over. Archmage sitting comfortably at level 3. Meanwhile, the Keeper of the Grove sitting at 2.5. And here's another interesting spot here. The Archmage could perhaps even try and clear out this creep camp from behind here, and really not lose suffer that much damage. Archmage going to continue to engage here, going after those Treants, but really going after the archers is the better thing to do, as the Treants are currently on time life, but chasing after archers is probably rather difficult too. 15 Sway staying at level 2, getting closer to level 3 after Sock unable to deny one of those footmen. There's a quick detonation once more as the Keeper of the Grove is getting relatively close. Arcane Tower going to try and feed back damage there. Archmage now going after the archers and those last remaining units. There goes a little bit of damage again, as the Archmage still inching up a little bit more experience. Tech to tier 2 has not been started. Meanwhile, 15 Sway already at tier 2 as well, and should be able to put in pressure with perhaps some Dryads and a second hero. Panda would be a smart call. Alchemist would be a smart call as well. Panda with Breath of Fire to try and push pressure on all of those tier 1 units that Sock currently has. Archmage adding in a little bit more damage with a faster attack speed, using those gloves of haste, as the Keeper of the Grove finds an Arcane Tower at the front door and unable to put in any real pressure. All right, Arcane Vault being built off to the side here. Meanwhile, Archmage is in position, going to try and finish off. There's Dust of Appearance, going to easily finish off one of those units, trying to finish off more of those units, as well as the archers are looking to retreat back. Panda, Keeper of the Grove, finding an Arcane Vault under construction. That is going to quickly fall apart there, as more damage is still racking back up as the archers are trying to retreat back. Archmage's damage just so high and so quick with that Gloves of Haste and Claws of Attack plus 12. Both sides fighting against each other here. Panda going to try and engage. Footman trying to retreat back. Don't want to take any damage from that Breath of Fire. And as we're still looking at the Blacksmith, well, 37 over 48 supply compared to 30 over 50. Tech to Tier 2 now has begun. Lumber Mill being added. And this game's pacing is just absolutely through the roof as an expansion is already up and operational. Both sides almost have a level 3 hero. We are at Tier 2. And, well, we should be looking at Dryads now making a play here in just a moment, being able to shut down these water elementals, feeding more experience to the other side here. All right, little bit of extra damage. Archer gets taken down. Breath of Fire heading back the other way. Footman trying to finish off another Archer there. Archer could end up getting, well, 1 or 2 more shots to do it. There goes another damage there. Big damage indeed, as we're still looking at more and more of these units getting taken down. Archmage turns back around, going after the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove trying to exchange blows, but cannot stick around in that fight. Already being forced to retreat back again. There goes another Entangle to try and rack up a little bit more experience. Are we going to see Sock deny that Footman? We should be seeing exactly that. Archmage going to be able to easily deny as, well, dealing 45 damage makes it large bursts of damage makes it much easier. Back off to the north there. Tech to Tier 2 nearly done. Are we seeing a Tech to Tier 3? Yes, that's, that's getting close to being done, as well as the Dryads are getting trained up. Abolish Magic will be done, and then we will be looking at a couple of bears. Gargantuan Sea Turtle absorbing a little bit of damage here. Meanwhile, the Panda wants to get to level 2 for that Drunken Haze, being able to add a little bit of survivability by making opponent units, miss their target. All right, Ancient of War about to get taken down to 43 hit points. Well, finally transitioning over to those Treants. Is this Gargantuan Sea Turtle going to fall here? I do believe so. A little bit of bonus damage. Slow poison once more. Gargantuan Sea Turtle purposely, falls there. Potion of Greater Healing drop. We do have Claws of Attack +9, so big claw damage here as the Keeper of the Grove finds a Rifleman in transit. Archmage heading back off to the north here. We see a Goblin Tinker as the follow-up hero, interestingly enough, as we are going into Devotion Aura from that item here. Down to the south once more. Panda going to go ahead and clear out the Ogre Warrior creep camp, perhaps finish off some more units again. Panda will be able to get to level 3 as the Keeper of the Grove is still trying to do some harassment. We are looking at some armor or weapons and armor upgrades here. Workshop going to be added for mortar teams. We are looking at dual arcane sanctums. No signs of knights, so we could be looking at spellbreaker flying machines with priest as support. Coming back around, Archmage comfortably sitting at level 2. Archmage sitting at level 4. Goblin Tinker comfortably sitting at level 2. And this game doesn't seem to be slowing down. All right, the Rockets being able to do a quick and easy stun here. Goblin Tinker will get very close to level 3, picking up a Ring of Regeneration as well. I personally like Rings of Regeneration as it often translates into a lot of hit points healed over the course of the game, and is extremely effective, especially on the Paladin, as the Paladin uses that Divine Shield in order to stay alive, and then, is naturally healing himself during the battle. Scroll of Town Portal inbound here. A lot of bears going to be finishing off peasant after peasant after peasant, and now Scroll of Town Portal off to the north. 46 supply compared to 47 after all of those units were taken down. There's a giant cluster bomb or cluster rockets stunning many of those units as they're trying to get within range. Bears are attempting to take down the blacksmith. No fortified armor or reinforced armor for the blacksmith there, but the bears cannot continue to just try and take down this blacksmith as more and more peasants are getting trained up and their own units taking damage here. All right, Goblin Tinker continuing to push their way through. There is a little bit more stun damage. Once again, 3 bears, Breath of Fire pushing back through. Keeper of the Grove and Panda really putting in quite a bit of damage as the Archmage unable to take down these Druids of the Claw easily. That tech advantage by Lawlayette, by 15 Sway, making a very big difference here as we see a rejuvenation go down on all of these fleeing units. All right, guard towers getting upgraded. A third base being set up by Sock, only happens on those classic maps Twisted Meadows and Turtle Rock, where you see a lot of bases being established. Meanwhile, 15 Sway is still sitting only on one base right now and trying to use a very efficient army, 50 over 60 supply, staying in a no upkeep in order to keep pace. Sock, on the other hand, also in no upkeep, but also spending a lot more perhaps on upgrades, getting 1/1 upgrades already, and now going for level 1 range upgrades as well. Keeper of the Grove able to cause some problems. A little bit of repairs underway for Sock. Keeper of the Grove able to just continually put in pressure, as the Goblin Tinker does get up to level 3, now having a Potion of Greater Mana too. Level 4 on that Panda. Where is that Panda moving off to? The Sentry Ward does spot the Panda heading off to the other side here to try and take down this Ogre Lord creep camp, as the Archmage sitting at level 4 and the Goblin Tinker sits at level 3. Keeper of the Grove is going to go ahead and Staff of Teleportation, head back over, gets up to level 4, and now going to clear out this Ogre Lord creep camp off to the north. We finally see 15 Sway trying to set up an expansion of his own. And the army is Druids of the Claw and Dryads, a lot of Ancient of Lores, as we see Immolation on the Brewmaster from that Cloak of Flames. We're going to be looking at the Goblin Tinker sitting at level 3, Archmage sitting at level 4. Ancient of War quickly roots itself, but the Tree of Life off over here may end up being forced to be cancelled. All right, wait, there it is. Yep. Quickly spots it out. Gonna go ahead and force a cancellation there. There's a detonation and a little bit of damage. All right, Immolation could cause some problems. There goes a stun there, as the Archmage is gonna try and retreat back. Dryad's gonna easily be able to finish off that one Water Elemental, as we're looking at the Brewmaster still sticking around in this battle with so much mana. Dual potions of mana with a potion of greater mana. Dryad's finishing off a Mortar team in the back right before the Scroll of Town portal exits out. We're looking at level 2 armor upgrades here, perhaps trying to get in more Spellbreakers to counter the Panda's Breath of Fire. 15 Sway looking fairly strong here. Meanwhile, off to the north, Sock is sitting on this third base, so he should be able to bank up a large amount of gold, but only sitting at 100 gold right now with a 68 over 78 supply advantage. The expansion, a Tree of Life now being placed down here, a couple of rejuvenations to try and keep all of these bears alive, as bears and dryads are getting into position here. Meanwhile, down to the south, Keeper of the Grove, a one-man harasser, able to use those tree ants and that Keeper of the Grove's range attack with Orb of Venom to try and pick off some of these peasants. Archmage getting close to level 5 as well. Level 3 Breath of Fire could be coming across, perhaps trying to hit the back line on those mortar teams and those sorceresses. In comes the damage. There's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire. Are we going to be looking at some stuns? Yes, we are, but the Dryads completely shaking that off without much of a problem. Keeper of the Grove going to come in from the behind, get an entangle on the mortar team, and this is a complete, a problem for Sock here, as the bears are engaging against all of the Spellbreakers, and the back line is getting torn apart by the Brewmaster and the Keeper of the Grove. Brewmaster finally low on mana, but he does have dual potions, or 2 potions of mana left. Archmage now coming across here using that Scrolls of Healing and trying to make this play as it gets up to level 5. Dryads are falling apart. 48 supply compared to Sock's. I don't know right now, as my overlay is broken. Panda going to continue this battle here, as the Panda could have a big problem. Is it going to get stunned out? Spellbreaker, there's a stun. There's a Staff of Preservation for the save, as the Priest is able to make it through that gauntlet. 67 supply compared to 44. Sock just needs to control all of the expansions, and he should be able to take this game quickly, deducing that an expansion is currently being built at this starting location at the 3 o'clock position. All right, there goes a Wisp, Sorceress, Priest, Spellbreakers, and a Tier 2 with some mortar teams going up against Panda and that Keeper of the Grove. Panda will soon have a level 5 counterpart, that Keeper of the Grove, 1 experience shy from getting to level 5, opening up perhaps level 3 Treants or level 3 Entangle. Back off to the off to the side here, what is going on? Goblin Tinker trying to find experience any way it can. Archmage now getting trapped up against the corner. There is a Breath of Fire, Abolish Magic going around. Scroll of Town Portal being used as the Keeper of the Grove does get that level up. The sorceresses and the priest purposely hiding in the back in order to be whisked back home. Lot of low mana Druids of the Claw waiting to get more mana and then perhaps transform into their beefier, beefier selves. All right. Only a handful of creep camps are left on the map here. These center wing expansions, or wing creep camps. Gargantuan Sea Turtle about to get taken down. Archmage is backed away enough, but the Goblin Tinker should not be able to get to level 5 here. I don't believe it's still enough experience. Will need a bit more. Finishing that off, picking up a Pendant of Energy, and grabbing an additional tome as well. Where is that Archmage? Oh, nope. Flare is now being thrown up everywhere to be able to reveal things. Where is the Archmage? The Archmage heading back around here, still having that Claws of Attack plus 12, and now bringing in dual Scrolls of Healing. However, this could be a problem here. Bear's trying to get in a position, and the Bear's in that frontline position with Roar, but the Roar is then being stolen by the Spellbreakers and then given perhaps to the Priest and those Mortar teams in the back. Archmage, I don't know if he's retrained his ability at all, as that would work out fairly well, being able to use a Blizzard in that frontline spot, and then also getting in a little light stun from those rockets. Research upgrade is shown, but nothing else. All right, Dryads coming in straight from behind, going to try to pick off all of those back units. There goes a stun there. Archmage quickly deduces this is not a spot that he wants to be in. One Mortar team taken down, second Mortar team taken down, and a Sorceress lost there. Meanwhile, no real casualties for 15 Sway, who is now sitting at 65 supply. And, well, it looks as though Sock's expansion off to the north, this Ninja expansion, will end up being cleared. Down to the south here at the 3 o'clock starting location, 15 Sway gonna finally set up this Tree of Life and start to entangle this gold mine. The wing expansion only has 5 minutes and 3 minutes left of mining overall, so this could potentially be a problem. Scroll Town Portal inbound to try and save the expansion here. Spellbreakers now making chase after all of those units. Dryads looking to back away. Archmage continuing this pressure once again as we see control magic being used by the Spellbreakers to turn the forces of nature against them. Coming back around, Druid of the Claw, Keeper of the Grove, and the Brewmaster trying to retreat back, and without any effective slows or Stormbolts will be able to do exactly that. Dryads coming back around the other side here. Little bit of damage. Dryads trying to, prance away, but this one Watcher Ward actually making a little bit of trouble for those Dryads here. Spellbreakers apparently not giving chase here. There's only one guard tower, or one scout or arcane tower. Guard towers are trying to be upgraded here. Are they going to be able to stick around, or the Dryads, are they going to be able to put in that pressure, as the Dryads and their movement speed just allow them to pretty much move everywhere they want? Keeper of the Grove being forced to retreat back here. Expansion down to the south. We're going to look at perhaps some cluster rockets, yes, stunning down some of those Druids of the Claw. Druids of the Claw, however, still able to retreat back. Dryads now trying to put in pressure as one guard tower was destroyed before it really was operational. Meanwhile, Staff of Preservation saves a Druid of the Claw in the back there, as Sock is just trying to catch up to these fast-moving Dryads and those slow-moving bears attacking in different locations. Dryads are using those guerrilla tactics, hit and run tactics on the buildings. Meanwhile, the bears are in that front line spot, just absorbing the damage. What we could be seeing, well, only one mortar team off over here. The Druids of the Claw are going to try and engage. This mortar team represents so much damage against those Dryads, and simply not having a Stormbolt to pick off trailing units is such a big deal. Goblin Tinker, if it was able to, actually stun down that Druid of the Claw long enough, maybe for a second, it could be able to get in a little bit more damage. But then again, that is a bit of range stun in an AoE location. All right, Goblin Tinker continuing the fight. There's a big stun across multiple units. All right, big damage there. as we're still looking at both sides continuing the fight. All right, continuing to try and heal. Mortar teams getting finished off by the Keeper of the Grove, as the Dryads now perhaps have a little bit more free reign to try and hit all of those engagements. Archmage is not dropping in water elementals, but I don't see Blizzard either. It is level 3 Brilliance Aura coming across there, as we're seeing a little bit of damage. No, Bears, is that Druid of the Claw going to get finished off? Oh, well, no, that Druid of the Claw going to stay at 6 hit points and ends up staying alive. Goblin Tinker trying to chase after all of those low hit point units. So much damage. There goes a stun right there. Level 5 now on that Goblin Tinker. Another Bear about to get taken down. A little bit more damage. One more final shot. It gets taken down. So suddenly 8 supply lost. Goblin Tinker should be able to stun off these 2 units here. Well, doesn't stun the Bear. Scroll of Town Portal used instead. Being able to stun the Bear would have been able to finish it off there, as we are looking at this expansion still operational, and this expansion, well, still operational as well. Starting location has 9, or I believe starts off with 12,000 gold, now down to 8,000 gold here. 15 sway, still looking strong. 58 supply going up against Sock's 73 supply, which is to be expected because of, well, the additional workers Sock has to operate on all of these bases. Goblin Tinker still wandering around here. Archmage sitting at level 5. We could be getting to level 6 on that Panda momentarily. And Earthstorm and Fire is going to really change the pacing of this game. All right, coming across here, Goblin Tinker looking to take down this Tree of Life. Only one mortar team here, not able to easily take down this building, down to 700 and 600 hit points. It looks like it is going to end up falling, as there is not that upgraded armor for that Tree of Life. Goblin Tinker able to cluster rockets all of those wisps there, and 15 sway is back down to 1 base again. Archmage may try and scroll a Town Portal back to try and save this expansion location. This expansion has about, well, only 700 gold, so really perhaps not worth saving any longer, as it is 1 base now to 0, as Sock, well, as Sock still holds this space off to the north, and, well, their main gold mines have been mined out. All right, cluster rockets coming down here, trying to take down all of these Moonwells. Taking down the Moonwells, it does remove some of that home field advantage. Each of those represents a good amount of hit points and mana. There's a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Are we going to see an Earthstorm and Fire? No, anti-magic shell, as well as the mortar teams are trying to finish off all of these buildings. Dryads are going to try and push in and engage here. There's a Scroll of Town Portal taking down another key building. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, trying to finish off mortar teams. Only takes down 1. I don't believe there's enough damage to finish off another, especially with priests healing each other back at home. Archmage picks up another Scroll of Town Portal. Goblin Tinker could use a little bit more items as well. Where are all of these units going to perhaps travel off to? Main gold, or this gold mine, down to 700 gold. No mining happening off to the north here. Main mining happening for Sock, and Sock looks like he's in a perfect position to take this game economically. We're looking at 50 over 30 supply, a new base established in the center portion of the map as well, as they are trying to engage against each other. This new base in the center portion of the map has been operational for about 50 seconds. Spellbreakers, Goblin Tinker, Archmage looking to hold this location here and hold 2-0 base gold mine advantage. Keeper of the Grove, however, does have tranquility as well, so it is going to come down to hero level advantage, as we see a couple of cluster rockets come down to try and slow things up. Spellbreakers trying to finish off some of the bears. Sorceresses are not casting slow here. The bears are tearing through the Spellbreakers, but a good stun in that frontline spot still causing quite a bit of problems. Spellbreaker, or Panda, trying to push on its way through, going to lose quite a bit of mana here, and there's a potion of invulnerability just trying to go after that back line. Scroll of Town Portal just constantly being used aggressively to change locations, and by constantly changing locations and just using the gold advantage, he's able to always move out of difficult fighting positions. All right, Panda getting ready to engage here. Spellbreakers there. Cluster Rocket not able to hit that Keeper of the Grove, just a little bit too far. Any damage is not sticking on any of those units. Panda looking to perhaps get a Breath of Fire, but unable to hit that backline. Archmage is summoning Water Elementals again, as the Keeper of the Grove is hoping to perhaps shut down some of those backline units. Panda goes into Earthstorm and Fire, trying to fight in that frontline spot. 50 over 60 supply. Dryads are now pushing their way through, as well as the mortar teams are splashing down a large amount of damage. Cyclone picking up the Goblin Tinker, now being dropped back off as the Panda is still fighting back across here. Druids of the Claw finally ending up low on hit points as the Dryads are trying to take down that backline position as well as they can. You can see that Storm actually does magic damage, able to take down many of the mortar teams here, but it may be too little too late as well. Two very low hit point Druids of the Claw are able to escape back. Keeper of the Grove, seeing that level 6 could have access to Tranquility. Earth is continuing to fight, pounding away, trying to take down more of those units as we're going to be looking at Storm finishing off another unit there and perhaps trying to take down more units in the backfield. All right, Panda back to his normal singular self. There's a Breath of Fire, Staff of Preservation for the save once again as we are looking at an entangling of the gold mine. Tree of Eternity moved back into the center portion as some low hit point Druids of the Claw are trying to regroup. These guys need to get healed back up quickly. Meanwhile, back on the human side, we are looking at 51 over 90 supply, getting ready to engage 31 over 60 Tranquility now being cast by the Keeper of the Grove to try and stay alive and sticking alive in this fight. There's a Drunken Haze, there's a Breath of Fire trying to push back a lot of units along the backside here. Keeper of the Grove, Tranquility coming to an end after that temporary stun as the Brewmaster is still trying to go after this back line and trying to land in some good Breaths of Fire. There's a Drunken Haze, there's a Breath of Fire, could finish off. No, Scroll of Healing of Sock continuing to counteract as we see a dispel of that Entangle. Tinker was in a little bit of trouble. Units are still trying to retreat back. There's a Staff of Preservation. All right, big stun coming across the center here. And, well, it looks like 15 Sway's army is going to slowly get dissolved here, but the Panda could try and finish off the Goblin Tinker. Tinker down to 120 hit points. Does have Inner Fire and still getting healed back up. Level 6 now on the Archmage. And that may be it. Getting level 6 on the Archmage with Mass Teleport should, well, close out the deal, in addition to losing 2 Druids of the Claw right there. Goblin Tinker just shy of level 6. Panda going to get taken down, giving level 6 to the Tinker, and I believe the GG is in order. A beautiful, beautiful Enduro game by Sock. Basically playing a very risky maneuver, clearing out a red creep camp and picking up those Claws of Attack plus 12 from that red creep camp early on, then setting up an expansion on top of that. 15 Sway had plenty of chances to try and neutralize that, was able to get to tier 3 faster, using those Dryads very effectively to abolish magic and take down those water elementals. Ultimately, in the end, it was Sock's foresight to not constantly train up water elementals to only be abolished that slowed down the experience gain of 15 Sway. Because of that, there was really no hero level advantage for 15 Sway, or too large of a level advantage for 15 Sway, even though he had access to Tranquility and Earthstorm and Fire before we saw Robo Goblin and well, I don't think we even saw Mass Teleport. In the end, it was a great game. Let me know what you guys thought. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.